So
the system of
some
property
you have
rights
to
that
force.
you like so much
No.
is that those
The
property
one
rights
that
are good for providing the things that people need in order to have a high level of effective freedom and well-being.
That's a consequence, but the issue is, in principle, that you.
I think the consequence is really what justifies the underlying principle.
Okay, well, you said before that
We'll have
we
to
could
wrap
not.
this up. I need to go.
That we couldn't live well if other people could legally gang up on you and forcefully take your money.
Right.
And so when you permit, you permit
I
one
think
group
there's a
of
distinction
people.
between states
Okay.
and roving bands
Well,
of bandits.
okay, so as long as they do it legally, then it's okay with you. In other words, if they get a majority of 51%.
It's not about a majority. It's like what I was saying about Madison.
Extract money from the other 49, then it's okay.
Legitimate state coercion.
Well, let me give you an example.
This elaborate structure
Let me give
of the division, diffusion, and
let me give you a
constraint
simple
of
example.
political power.
A simple example.
So I definitely don't think that just if a majority votes
Okay,
that
look,
they can exercise
if
force.
a group of farmers come to your house with shotguns and demand that you give them $1,000 for not farming, would that be morally wrong?
Yes.
Okay, but if they persuade the government to pass a law requiring you to pay taxes so that they can be paid for not farming, then it's morally correct.
I don't think it's morally correct, but it's
No, you
at
don't
a
think
different
so.
level.
Okay, then we agree.
It's a more complicated question. As long as the government...
Is it morally correct or not?
That's
the whole point that
no,
I
it's not.
wanna
It's not the
know.
whole point. The point of having a sort of a constitutional democratic system of government is that people fundamentally disagree about what people are entitled to, about what the nature of rights are. Nobody has the authority to just impose a structure of rights on everybody else. That's always going to be contested. The reason you need democratic institutions is to create a forum where people can disagree and try to negotiate the structure that everybody's going to live under.
Right.
Sometimes
do you believe in majority rule on any question? Is that what
no, that's not what I'm saying.
Well, okay, that's what
but I believe in constitutionally constrained democratic government, and the way a democratic government is always going to work, whatever the constraints, is that sometimes the whole point of it is that people are going to disagree. And sometimes the electoral majority imposes a set of policies that the minority thinks is unjust. Now, what's important about that structure is that doesn't create a civil war.
Is it morally correct? Is it morally correct when instead of going with the shotgun to your house, they prefer to lobby the politician and get him to pass a law that requires you to pay taxes so they can get money without farming?
Yeah, this is what I'm saying.
Is it morally correct?
I don't agree. I think the procedure involved is morally necessary. I don't like the result of that decision, but it's the nature of democratic institutions.
You don't like it, but you're in favor of it?
I'm in favor of the system of institutions that can generate that kind of result that I disagree with. You need a system that manages that kind of disagreement.
But why not have a system where that's illegal, which is called limited government, and you can only tax people for the service that you provide, which is limited to defending their individual rights?
Why not have that system? It's because nobody believes that that's a good system.
Oh, you mean like John Locke didn't believe it, and the founding fathers didn't believe it? Of course they did.
No, I'm talking about...
That's why they created the United States. That's the whole point of the United States of America.
I'm talking about the actual world and not
that's how
people who've been dead for hundreds of years. So,
yeah, well, that's how it got started.
Go ahead and have a poll and see, so you're free to run for office and promote your kind of libertarian vision. And if you can get enough people to buy into it, then you can structure the government the way you think
is
want.
Right. I agree that I'm free and I think it's fine. And you're free to argue the opposite, but I'm just trying to get a feeling for what you think is right. You think it's okay?
I don't think the
well,
system that you're
let me
promoting
get to the basic
will work
principle.
well.
The basic,
I think the system that you're promoting will work
well,
very poorly.
Let me just ask you the basic principle here. Yeah. Is it morally wrong to initiate physical force against people who haven't violated anybody's rights?
Is it morally wrong
to initiate physical force against people that have not violated anybody's rights? That's what we're talking about here. It's morally wrong, right?
Yeah.
And are all governmental laws and orders backed up by physical
I
force?
understand your theory, and it's one that I used to share, but it doesn't. But
Well,
it's not. But
I
it's
just
not
wanna see where
helpful.
we
It
depart.
doesn't. It doesn't give you
I'm
any
just trying to
tools
see
for
wh-
guiding your thinking about how to improve the actual world and how to improve policy. You
Of
can do
course it
whatever
does.
you want
Everywhere-
to persuade people of your general principles, but that's it doesn't help. It doesn't make a difference.
Of
Right?
course
I'm
it makes a
interested in
difference.
actually making the world freer.
This
And the way
is-
you have to do that is by participating in the political system as it actually exists and move it marginally, incrementally in the direction
Well, I want to
that
see
you want
where
it to
we
go.
part company, because you previously believed in limited government, and now you don't, right?
I do believe in limited government.
No, you believe in unlimited government in principle.
I told you I believe in constitutional democracy, and
Yeah,
the
no, that-
constitutional aspect of it
This-
includes a charter or bill of rights that take certain questions off